Dad, isn't it curious how certain choices can completely change our future? How did you handle making choices in the past?
That's a very interesting topic, son. Come sit here with me. Let's talk about something that will follow you throughout your life, the power of your choices. I know that sometimes we don't realize how our choices, big or small, can shape our future. But let me tell you, every choice you make is like a seed you plant, and the type of tree that grows from it depends directly on those choices. Life, son, is full of moments where you will need to make decisions. Some seem simple, like what to study or which career to pursue, while others can be more complex, like choosing the people you surround yourself with, or the values by which you will live. That's where the power of choices lies. Each decision takes you down a different path, and often there's no turning back. But that shouldn't scare you. In fact, this power of choice is one of the greatest gifts we have. In the Bible, in Deuteronomy 30:19, God says, "I call heaven and earth as witnesses against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live." Look at that. Even God gave us this incredible capacity to choose. He gave us free will. This shows that we are responsible for the direction our lives take, for the decisions we make, and especially for the consequences of those decisions. At the same time, it gives us the chance to build a life full of meaning and purpose, depending on the path we choose to follow. I know it can sometimes be hard to see the impact that certain choices have at the moment we make them. When you're going through your routine, it seems like the small decisions of everyday life don't carry much weight, but over time, they accumulate. Think of it like a road. Each choice is a step, and the further you walk in one direction, the more distant you become from other possibilities. That's why it's so important to think carefully about where these choices are leading you. Remember when you had to decide whether to stay on the soccer team or focus more on your studies? I know that was a tough choice. You loved playing, but you also knew you needed to dedicate more time to prepare for school. At first, it might have seemed like giving up soccer was a loss, but look how that brought you results later. You were able to concentrate more, develop in other areas, and that opened new doors for you. It was a conscious choice, difficult at first, but it made all the difference. And you know, there's a quote by Viktor Frankl that has always resonated with me. He was a psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps and wrote the book, Man's Search for Meaning. He said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is the power to choose our response, and in that choice lies our growth and our freedom." What does this mean? It means that no matter what happens to us, the power to choose how we will react is always in our hands, and this is one of the most powerful things you can learn. Son, life will present you with various situations you can't control. Sometimes bad things happen, obstacles arise, or even people around us make decisions that affect our lives. But what you can always control is your reaction. That's choice. You can choose to face problems with resilience, you can choose to learn from difficulties, or you can choose to let yourself be defeated. The path you choose to take in each situation will define how you grow and mature. But it's not always easy to make the right choice, I know that. Often the right choice isn't the most comfortable or the most popular. Sometimes the pressure to follow a path that everyone else is taking can be strong. But that's when you need to remember that your choices are yours. What others think or do shouldn't influence what is right for you. Whenever you're in doubt, ask yourself, does this choice bring me closer to who I really want to be? Will this help me grow as a person? If the answer is yes, then you're probably on the right path. There's another story that inspires me a lot, and it's about Solomon, one of the wisest kings ever. When God asked him what he wanted, Solomon could have asked for anything, wealth, power, fame. But you know what he chose? Wisdom. He knew that with wisdom he could make the right choices, both for himself and for the people he governed. And it was because of that choice that he became one of the greatest leaders in history. Solomon's story teaches us that often, true power lies in making choices with awareness, looking toward the future, rather than just focusing on immediate results. Speaking of immediate results, let me tell you something. Not every good choice will bring immediate rewards. Sometimes you'll make a decision that seems difficult or even painful in the short term. But over time, you'll realize it was the best path. It's like when you decide to invest in your future instead of choosing short-term pleasure. That famous saying applies: we reap what we sow. If you plant good choices now, you can be sure you'll harvest good fruits down the line. But son, it's also important to know that not every choice you make will be perfect. Sometimes you will make mistakes, and that's part of the process. It's okay to err. What matters is learning from each decision that didn't work out. Because in the end, what defines our success isn't just the right choices we make, but what we do after the wrong ones. When you realize you made a poor decision, take a deep breath, learn from it, and move forward, knowing that your next choice can lead you back on the right path. And one more thing I want you to remember. You're never alone in your choices. I, your mom, your family, we're always here to help you reflect, to talk about the options you have. Sometimes discussing your choices with someone who loves you can help you see things differently, notice details you hadn't considered before. Don't be afraid to ask for help, to seek advice. That doesn't take away from your decision-making power, it just gives you more clarity to make the best choices. So, my son, never underestimate the power you have in your hands. Your choices will shape your future, but you don't need to carry that weight as a frightening responsibility. On the contrary, see it as an opportunity to build the life you want, to become the person you wish to be. Each decision is a chance for growth, an opportunity to learn, and you have the ability to make incredible choices. Always remember to ask yourself, does this choice reflect who I really am and who I want to be? If the answer is yes, go ahead. And even if at some point you stray from the path, know that you can always come back, always learn from past choices and do better next time. I'm here for you, always, to support you. And I know that with your heart and mind in the right place, you will make great choices and carve a path of success, growth, and happiness.